We're going to talk about the bender, which is this machine behind me, but before we get started, we need the correct material. As you're looking at this packet, you can see this particular gate has 2 bars on the top of it with circles in the middle of them. We're going to bend those 2 bars there. Since it is 2 bars on the top with a picket sticking out of the top, these 2 pieces of material are 3/4 by 3/4. And the back piece behind it is going to be a 3/4 by 1/4. If there were no pickets on this, the bottom would be the same, 3/4 by 3/4 in the front, 1/4 by 3/4 in the back, but the top would be a 1 inch by 2 inch rectangular tubing. If there were just 1 bar on the top, we would be using 3/4 by 1.5 rectangular tubing with a 1/4 by 1.5 back bar. When we're cutting material, we cut the material for 1 foot extra for each leaf. This particular gate is 12 foot 1 inch. So that puts the leaves at about 6 foot 1/2 inch. We need an extra foot for bending just to make sure that the ends look right. So we're going to cut those pieces 7 feet each. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 3/4 by 3/4 and the same number of the 3/4 by 1/4. Let's go get the material cut and we'll come right back to this. All right, here's our bending machine. This is a pretty simple and straightforward piece. On your packet, right below the top style here, which is an arch, which is important, is going to be your bending measurements. These are what the historical bending measurements are. They're going to be very close to what's needed to be done here. We're going to go ahead and use these measurements, and if they're not perfect, we're going to let the back office know how they need to be adjusted. So you see 7.8 and 1.2. The 7.8 refers to this scale here, and the 1.2 refers to this scale here. This goes from 0 to 3. This goes from 0 to 9. So we first get it to what's approximately 7.8 right there. Now if you notice on this rotating piece, there's a mark on it. It's hard to see, but you'll get to know it, know where it is, and see it. So there it is right there. You're going to rotate it towards 1.2 and stop. There's 1.2. Now if you go over, you want to come back a 1/2 turn and then go back in the direction of it. There's 1.2 right there. That's how you set up the bender. Information's right on the sheet. When we get done, if it's overbent, I'm going to make an adjustment to this to the side here, and I'll do a 7.8 1.0. If it's underbent, I'll make a different adjustment. I'll do 7.8 1.4, or I'll put the same number to let them know that that number is perfect. Now let me show you how to tell how to put the material in. All right, what we want is consistency in our bending. So there's a mill mark on the inside of this, a little notch in there that lets it know how it was drawn through the mill die, and we got to find that. I usually use a key and I feel it. There it is on that side. There it is on that side. So I'm going to turn them both in the same direction. And then I'm going to take the 2 3/4 by 3/4 tubes and I'm going to stack them on top of the 3/4 by 1/4 flat bar. We're going to put that mill mark on the inside towards the drive wheels, and we're going to push the material all the way down until it's up against that other drive wheel. Now we're ready to start bending. So let's talk about safety here. When I set this up, I always set my controls far enough away from the bender that I can't touch the bender while I'm operating the controls. This will prevent you from accidentally reaching over and getting your fingers caught up into the bender. So we're ready to push the direction that we need to here. And there we go. We're going to let this go all the way through the bender because it's an arc. If it were a bell curve, we would have marked the center and stopped it halfway through, pulled it back out by running the rollers in the opposite direction, and rebent the other side in the other direction. I can tell by the look here, this is going to be just about perfect. As I was bending this, I noticed these weren't the exact settings. They were just off a little bit. Those can be because we're getting it from a different mill, a different supplier, something of that nature, or just variances in the mill. They tend to become more and more accurate over time, so I'm going to make a note here of what my current bender settings were, which was 7.8, 0.8, 7.8, 0.8 is what I actually bent the best bars at. This will go into our system, and next time we have this size gate, that will be the number that appears here. This is a continual improvement process that should make bends more and more accurate and easier for the welders each time.